Welcome to episode 35 of the Travel Calumet Original Podcast. I'm your host, Rick Sense, and today's guest is Greg Hageman from the New Holstein Historical Society's Timm House and Pioneer Corner Museum. Timm House is located in the heart of New Holstein's downtown area, and the building itself has been on the National Register of Historic Places since last century. The house is a significant example of Queen Anne-style architecture called stick-style architecture, and is truly an example of excellent period craftsmanship and design. So, Greg, you've been on the show before. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Rick. I'm glad to be here.
Good to have you. So, I'm looking around at all the wonderful Christmas-themed decorations here at the Timm House, and it is truly an impressive sight. However, before we talk holiday magic at the Timm House, could you spend some time talking about the magic that took place this summer with this wonderful new roof that you have at the Timm House?
Yes, we've had quite a few positive comments on the look of the new roof. Unfortunately, it was a little more than we thought it was going to run, which is kind of the way things are these days. We thought originally that we would be able to just kind of do a little spruce up of the existing wood shake roof. But it turned out that many of the shingles had cracked over time and were not leaking, but were going to be kind of suspect, I guess you might say, in the next couple of years. So we ended up doing a complete replacement of the entire roof, and it was done by Dave DeBruin from St. Anne area, and Dave did a nice job, he and his crew, and looks wonderful.
And is it period? Is it true to the period, or is it just the roof?
It is. We had an option when we looked at the cost. We thought, well, maybe we should do something a little more current shingle type of thing. But we decided no. When the restoration was done and completed in 2007, the folks had decided to do the roof in the appropriate type of material for the period, and we decided that was the way we should go too. So cost a couple extra dollars, but yes, it is should be period appropriate.
So I can imagine a project like that. You're thinking, okay, we're going to do a touch-up of the roof, and all of a sudden it's a complete replacement, and it's period-related. It must have cost some money that you weren't planning on spending at the Historical Society.
It did. We have been fortunate in that we've had some donations come our way. We are still open to more donations if anyone out there would like to maybe make one when they look at their taxes at the end of the year. But it was something that was necessary. It needed to be done regardless of who was paying for it. If our coffers, we had enough money to cover it, which drove our coffers down considerably, but it needed to be done.
So you said there's an opportunity for people to contribute to the
There
process?
There is.
Okay.
They can do so. Anyone that wishes to could contact any one of us at the New Holstein Historical Society. If you go to our website, newholsteinhistory.info, there are numbers there of people you can contact, and other donations, if you want to make them, can be sent to New Holstein Historical Society at P.O. Box 144, New Holstein 53061.
Is that where the bulk of your finances come from, is from donation, or is it through admissions?
We have money that comes through admissions. We have money that comes to us during the course of the year through donations. The New Holstein Community Fund helps us out a little bit. We get some grants on occasion. Grants are tough in that there's always a lot of competition for those, so they're not something that we get on a yearly basis, but every once in a while we get a little bit of it. We've also been fortunate to be included in some wills that people have left money for us. And we have a couple of fundraisers during the course of the year, too, that a little money comes in from, too.
So if somebody is looking to do a planned giving option, they could reach out to the Historical Society as well and work with you to get that set up as well.
That would be wonderful.
Okay, great. Well, I have to tell you, looking around the facility, when you see with all the holiday bunting out there, the evergreen bunting with the bows and the bright red bows, and you see the beautiful just structure of the building, and then you look at the roof, and that really does, especially the two-tone where you have near the top pyramid of the roof, the top peak, it just looks very festive this time of year. So people, if you haven't had a chance to, if you've not been to New Holstein, it's definitely worth hopping in the car, going down, checking it out, and just taking a look for yourself. It's a pretty historic building to begin with, and then when you throw a little holiday design and element into it, it just becomes even more magical. So speaking of magical, let's talk Christmas at the Timm House. What is actually going on this season, Greg?
Well, this year our theme is the sights, smells, and sounds of Christmas. Each year we have a specific theme for our Timm House Christmas. We end our normal season at the end of September. We're open from the beginning of May through the end of September. And then in October and November, we decorate the Timm House. We don't decorate the upstairs, we just decorate the downstairs. But each year there's a theme that's chosen. And we try and put up appropriate decorations and in some cases bring in some collections and things that fit the theme. So this year, the sights and sounds and smells are things that basically evoke memories of Christmas past, whether it's the smell of fresh popcorn being made right before you string it to put it on a tree, or whether it's the sound of jingle bells, or the anything that evokes a memory, any little catalyst that evokes a memory of Christmas past.
And you must go through a lot of brainstorming during the course of a year to pick a theme. What was the process behind that this year?
Each year we do. We try and come up with a different theme. We've been doing this for quite a few years, so we've had many different themes. Strangely enough, several years ago we didn't have a theme, and we were kind of coming down to the deadline when we really needed to come up with something, and someone offered us a collection of Wizard of Oz items, and we thought, well, Wizard of Oz, not really Christmas, but to be honest, we didn't have a better idea, so we thought, well, we'll do it. That was our largest attended Christmas ever.
Okay.
There are a lot of folks out there who have an interest in the Wizard of Oz, and many of them came to visit the Timm House that year, so it was great. Normally the board just kind of gets together and talks about it, and somebody will have come up with something, usually in June or July or August or somewhere along that time period. They'll have had a thought that they've written down, and when we start doing our brainstorming in about before the end of September, they've put forth an idea, and if it sounds good, the rest of us go along with it.
So who does all the wonderful decorating going on, inside and outside? Is it Historical Society volunteers?
It is. Okay. It is. We do it. Going back many years, the Historical Society has always done this. They've always decorated the outside of the house, and then they started doing the inside. Not necessarily with a theme, but just holiday decorations in the inside, and people were coming through, and then it kind of evolved to a theme type of thing each year, so that it was something different, so that we had something for people to come back to on a yearly basis.
You mentioned a couple of the Wizard of Oz themes. What other themes from the past stand out as memorable to you?
Well, we've done Christmas colors. We've done toys, different Christmas toys. one year we kind of emulated what they do in Manitowoc, and we got our hands on a bunch of the aluminum Christmas trees, and we had the aluminum trees in all the rooms, several of them complete with the color wheels going around on the floor next to them. That was a fun year for me personally, because I really like the aluminum Christmas trees.
Did you grow up with one?
I did not.
Okay.
I think maybe that's why I like them, because
Okay.
I grew up in a very traditional home where we had the green live Christmas tree, pretty much every year, as long as my parents were alive, kind of thing. And so I think maybe that's why I like the aluminum trees, because they were just a little different, a little, showy kind of thing. And I like the green trees too, but the aluminum ones kind of appeal to me.
So you go through that process, you start decorating. Once the season's all over, how long does it take you to de-decorate the Timm House?
It takes a lot. The decorations come down slower than they go up.
Okay.
For a couple of reasons. When we have the home open until the end of September for our normal tours, that gives us basically 2 months to decorate after that, as we normally open the first weekend in December. So we have October and September and November to get the decorations up. When we start to take them down, we have from basically the first of the year until the 1st of May when we reopen. So we kind of use that time. Taking the decorations down is a lot more relaxed and laid back than having to put them up. We do it little by little. Whoever can come on day A or day B or day C comes, and we work for a couple hours and come back again next week and work for a couple hours until we get it done.
So if somebody out there is listening to the program, hasn't been to the Timm House, and is thinking, gee, I got a 4-year-old and I got a 6-year-old and just don't know if they're going to be able to handle this, what would you tell that parent out there?
I would tell them to bring the kids down. The tour is self-guided. You can come in and wander around the various rooms at your leisure. We have all the downstairs rooms decorated. We try and have someone playing Christmas tunes on our restored 1894 Steinway box grand piano, which was an original piece owned by the Timm family. There's a lot of things to see, a lot of lights, several different trees, and we have generally homemade cookies in the kitchen at the end of the tour. So,
What kid wouldn't like that, right?
Bring the children down and let them see what it's like.
So how many people can you, let's say there's a group out there or a company that wants to do a team building night or something, and they want to maybe have dinner but start with some entertainment. What is that something that you guys are able to accommodate?
We are. If the group was 30, 40, 50 in that range, we would probably have to split them and go through it, one group and then a second group. But a group of 20, 25, I think we could spread out enough in the different rooms and walk through without too many problems.
Okay. So what are the hours for this year's season, for the Christmas season?
We are one weekend into the Timm House. We opened last weekend, and we'll be open for the next 2 weekends. So we'll be open on Friday nights, the 13th and the 20th, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then we'll be open on the following Saturdays and Sundays, which would be the 14th, 15th, 21st, and 22nd, from 11 p.m. in the morning until 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And we do also during the Christmas season, if someone calls us up with a request for a time outside of the time that we're normally open, we do generally try to accommodate them and get them through too.
Christmas, not to rush through the holiday season, but Christmas is over and you're dedecorating the house. But what other things are you guys working on? What new and exciting things are happening with the New Holstein Historical Society?
Well, in 2025, we hope to have a new event. We had a past event in March, which was an antiques appraisal, and unfortunately that was halted by the pandemic and was something that we could never get going again due to various circumstances. So this year we'd like to try a new event and have a collections day, and that would again be in March, probably on the 8th, at the New Holstein Community Center. And we would invite people in the area who have collections to bring their collections to that location on that day and display them for people in the area to come and see. There would be no cost to the people displaying the collections, and at least for the first year there would be no cost for people who would come to see the collections. It's not meant to be a swap meet type of day. It's would be meant to be a share with the community. If you have a collection of something and you'd like to have people see that and have show off your collection, that you've put a lot of time and sweat and pride into accumulating, you'd bring it in, set it up. Everybody would get a 8-foot banquet table that they could set their collection up on, and we'd probably try to sell some hamburgers or chili or something like that, maybe some homemade pies at lunchtime as a fundraiser to go along with it.
Okay. And when you say collections, you're talking the eclectic to farm toys to political buttons to also coins.
It would be whatever people would want to bring in within good taste, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, an 8-foot table would be available to each person who would like to bring a collection in, and that would represent the space that they could set their collection up. Things like coins, toys, baseball cards, political buttons, glassware, whatever. I mean, there are people out there that have some very interesting collections that would probably make great viewing for the community.
So people mark March 8th tentatively on your calendars to make sure you're checking out New Holstein's Community Center, you said, is where it's going to be held?
Yep, and we will have some information coming out in articles in the newspaper and also on our website, which I mentioned earlier, which is newholsteinhistory.info.
Okay. The Pioneer Corner Museum, that's not open during the holiday season, correct?
It is not.
Okay.
It is not. The Pioneer Corner Museum is open from the 1st of May until the end of September, just like the Timm House is for the regular guided docent tours at the Timm House. The Pioneer Corner Museum is always self-guided tours. People can come in and wander around at their leisure there.
Okay. And admission, is there a admission charge?
Admission for the Timm House Christmas is $5 for adults, and we define adults as 13 years of age or older. It's $2.50 for ages 12 down to 6, and children under 6 are free.
Okay. You want to give the listeners one more run through of where you're located and, again, how they can learn more about the New Holstein Historical Society, Timm House, and Pioneer Corner Museum?
We are located at 1600 Wisconsin Avenue, which, as Rick said, is right in downtown New Holstein, kind of across the street from Quick Trip. It's the elegant brown house on the corner. We are there, as I said, on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays during the next 2 weekends, and we would love to see everybody come out and visit us.
All right. Greg, I appreciate you being on the program. It's always great getting caught up with you and having you sit down with us and give listeners an opportunity to learn more what the New Holstein Historical Society is doing. So thanks again for doing that. Make sure you check out this and our other 34 episodes now of the Travel Calumet Original Podcast. You can do that by clicking on the microphone on the homepage of travelcalumet.com. And if you liked what you heard today or on previous episodes, please help us spread the word on all the great things taking place here in Calumet County by taking the time to text a couple of friends to encourage them to listen to the Travel Calumet Original Podcast. Thanks for listening, and until next time.